of the previous two lectures. So again I am recap. So whenever it is forward bias, so the electrons will move from N to the base region P, then there is a slight recombination, then the remaining will move from base to collector. Now, so we have discussed two explanations. The first one is, so electrons will move from here to here, the remaining will collected by the collector. Now you may get doubt that, sir, okay, forward bias, so electrons will move from this emitter to base, and this holes from base to emitter. Now the moment it is reverse bias, it will be like open circuit, right? That means whenever this is an open circuit, see, emitter base junction is like a short circuit. Now the moment it is reverse bias, it should be open, so that there should not be any collection of the electrons. So everyone will get doubt. Now, so what will happen actually is, whenever there is a reverse bias, the depletion region will be, width will be increasing. So whenever there is a depletion region increasing, the negative charge, and this is a positive charge, whenever the hole is depleting from this place to this place, so these electrons will recombine with the holes, it will become negative ion. Whenever electron is recombined by hole, it will become positive ion. Whenever there is a positive and negative charge, the electric field will be generated. Now this field is, whenever there is a, this here is a positive, here is a, here negative, this is a positive, so this will become a electric field. So this is electrons, no, positive, and this is a negative, electric field will be generated. So whatever the electrons coming from the emitter to base, this will be sweep by this electric field which is generated, and this will be pulled towards the collector. Whenever there is an electric field, see electric field how it will be generated. So there is a, suppose, positive and a negative electric field, so the moment of electrons will be in direction of this, right? So whatever the plus minus is generated electric field, that will be sweep this number of electrons into the collector, right? That is the reason. See, it is like this. Whenever suppose there is a some water is coming here, so when you stop these waters by putting a stone, right, so there is no movement of this water from here to here. So when we push this water by hand, or suppose if you place a motor here with some force, then that will be reached the other way. So similarly, the moment there is a depletion region, electric field will be generated. That electric field will sweep this number of electrons into the collector. This is the third way of explanations. So the first way is simply diffusion and the collected by the electrons. Similarly, next one is for stability purpose. So suppose it is losing some electrons, the source will donate those number of electrons to become stable. So again it is receiving some electrons, so this will be recombined by this emitter electrons. Then this is the third way how the number of electrons will collected by this one. Due to this high electric field generated in the collector base junction, it will be sweep, right? Now why it is called common base configuration is, see, this base is common to the, so if you consider this is the input side, this is output side, this base is common to both terminals, so it is a common base configuration. In common base configuration, input current is IE, output current is IC, right? The current gain is, DC current gain is alpha, which is output current by the input current alpha, right? Next, what we need to see here is, for PNP it's like a opposite, right? So for a PNP device, PNP, see, positive should be given to the emitter, this is negative, and positive P type should be connected to negative supply, then it will become reverse bias, right? Similarly, whenever it is losing some holes, so this source will be given by, this source will denote those number, Similarly, whenever it is losing some holes, that will be denoted by this, or electrons, so it is denoted by this. Similarly, whenever it is losing some holes, so this coming from the emitter, it will be reached. So that's why the current flows. Here also IE is IC plus IB only, but the current direction will be opposite, right? Next we will see the symbols of NPN and PNP transistor. So this is the NPN transistor, base, emitter, collector. Similarly, PNP transistor, collector, base and emitter. This is invert, PNP. So in this lecture we will see why this arrow is given to only emitter, because the emitter is a source of either electrons. So if it is NPN, a source of electrons; if it is a PNP, source of holes. Now why the current direction is downward in NPN transistor? Because emitter base junction is forward bias. So whenever emitter base junction is forward bias, the current flows from P to N. So that's why the current direction is downward. Similarly here, whenever